All right, welcome back to another episode on Oregon Legacy. Last week was quite a whirlwind in Portland politics. The Oregonian published a story on Carmen Rubio, revealing that she had 150 traffic violations. Her license was suspended 6 times. She was also sent to collections 100 times. Meanwhile, later that day, Willamette Weekly reported on Renee Gonzalez, 7 speeding tickets and twice suspended driver's license from over 20 years ago. And on a personal note, I was featured in the Oregonian alongside Progreso Latino. And just to clarify, we are a political action committee, and C&E Systems set up our PAC and serves as our treasurer. So this week, another article emerges about Carmen hitting a parked car and not leaving contact information. The Oregonian also reported on possible campaign finance violations from people that are running for city council. You know, it's really clear to me that the media is working really hard to bring us the news, but it's up to us to determine the accuracy of that information and how it will influence our decision in November. Remember, everyone is striving to improve our beautiful city, but people are also human and people will make mistakes. So now let's get started on today's episode. We have a special guest, Stan Penkin. Stan has a rich history of civil engagement in Portland. He moved here from New York and has been deeply involved in various communities initiatives, from urban planning to homelessness and public safety. He also founded an organization which provides humanitarian and security services in the Pearl District. So let's go ahead and welcome Stan. Stan, thank you so much for being on the show with us here today. I just want to dive into your journey and the incredible work you've been doing for this community. And so I have, my first question for you is, Stan, you have a fascinating background. You moved here from New York to Portland. Can you share what inspired that move and how your early experiences in New York shaped your approach to community engagement here in Portland?
Well, sure. Well, thanks, George. Happy to be here. Sorry to hear the news about some of our candidates. I know that everybody really cares about this city. And yes, things happen, and that's unfortunate. I can assure you that I do not have even a parking ticket, let alone speeding tickets or any suspensions. So yes, we moved here. My wife, Suzanne, and I moved here 21 years ago from New York. And honestly, we never looked back. We drove cross country, and it took us about 10 days. We had to get here in time for our moving truck. And we finally stopped crying when we got to Allentown, Pennsylvania. It was very tough to leave family and friends, but we were on a new journey. We had been visiting Portland, actually, and San Francisco for a number of years because our children had moved out here. 2 in San Francisco, 1 here. She was our early pioneer. And we started coming out here and in the early 90s, I would say. And we started falling in love with Portland, and Portland then was just starting to, Pearl District wasn't really here yet. Things were starting to happen, and there was a vibe and a culture here that just attracted us. In some ways, similar to New York vibe and culture, but at a quieter level. So eventually we made the move. My biggest disappointment was coming out here to what our friends in New York still call Oregon, and coming out here and finding that there were no covered wagons. That was something I expected to see, and that was a disappointment. But we moved here. We never looked back. Love Portland, love the Pearl District where we live. As you said, George, I've been involved in many, many areas, also including the arts and livability and the environment and so on. And just love being here. It's a great place.
That's awesome, Stan. When we met and really had an opportunity to talk a little bit more in the beginning of the week, I was, really fascinated by all the various civil initiatives that you've done over the course of, like, I believe, like the past 20 years. Can you tell me, like, what's been one of the most rewarding projects that you've participated in, and how do you see that that project impacted the city?
Well, I have to think about that a little bit because there are a bunch of them. One of the organizations I'm very proud of is co-founding HomeShare Oregon, which is a nonprofit that connects people who have spare rooms in their homes to people who are in need of affordable housing and might very well be a paycheck away from homelessness. We've had great success with this program. We're still kind of a startup. We're growing it. It's a statewide program. So I'm particularly very satisfied with that. Uh, I will mention one area that for some people brought me a great deal of satisfaction, and for some people it might be a little bit controversial. It's the Arts Education and Access Fund, which unfortunately the nomenclature became the arts tax. But I was the first chair of the Arts Oversight Committee back, wow, it's a long time ago now, where the purpose of the arts tax was to provide arts teachers in all K to 5 schools, and with additional money to go to arts organizations. And I was very proud of our first year where we had no guidance of how to get this organized. We established a set of metrics with accountability for the schools, for the revenue division, and for Regional Arts and Culture Council, which we oversaw. And I was very proud of that. And we had success in the early years. I'm not sure where that success is now, to be honest, but I was very proud of that because we did get teachers into every K through 5 school.
So it sounds like, the arts, I remember from our conversation, was super important to you.
Mhm.
Why do you say, educate us a little bit more on why was that arts tax such, why was there so much controversy over that?
Well, I think part of the controversy, well, first of all, people are annoyed by taxes, and that
Mhm.
tax is a $35 tax on individuals in a household earning, I think it's over $1,000. So I think part of the controversy about it, which honestly is something we had to work through, and I think still needs to be looked at, quite frankly, is that it was putting that $35 tax on people for whom $35 is a lot of money. So I think that was one of the flaws in the tax, but that is what it is right now. So I think that's where the controversy lies. And again, people are annoyed by, I guess it feels like a nuisance tax to some people without understanding the purpose and the goals of it and what it has done to help our children in the arts.
Got it. So can you talk to me a little bit better about, highlighting Oregon talent, and really, like, attracting more artists to Portland? Like, what seems to be sort of the secret sauce to really highlight, you know, the people here, the people in Oregon, the people in Portland, to open up more art galleries? I just don't see that there's a big focus on the arts, even though this is a large art community. But since our downtown has continued to struggle, I just don't see a lot of concentration on really highlighting Oregon talent right now.
Well, I think that's something I want to bring more attention to. I think the arts speaks to the heart and soul of a community. And actually, I believe, if I have my facts correct, that Portland has the fourth largest arts community in the country, after, I believe, San Francisco, New York, and Los Angeles. So we do have a vibrant arts community here. And it's not only the larger arts organizations like a Portland Center Stage or the Symphony, it's so many community-based arts organizations, so many individuals who are artists. Part of the issue for our arts community is affordability, as affordability is an issue for so many people here. So I feel that arts and culture will be a great catalyst to bring back our central core, bring back our downtown. We need to support our artists. I did, in my early years here, I ran a political action committee known as Oregon Art Pack. And what we did was engage with people in office about the arts and the importance of public funding for the arts, which Portland has historically been very far behind comparable cities in funding the arts. And part of what I was trying to do through that organization, which I ran for about 12 years, and we engaged with candidates, not just in the city, but in all the counties and metro and all of those races. And part of it was to educate our future electeds on the importance of arts to our communities and to our economic well-being. So it's been a big part of my life. We need to do more. I think we have to work with property owners and landlords to work with bringing artists and artist activities and interactive activities into our vacant spaces in our neighborhoods, downtown and elsewhere. So there's a lot we have to do, but the arts is really the driver of the heart and soul of the community.
All right, Stan. So Portland right now has faced numerous challenges recently, from homelessness to public safety concern. What innovative solutions do you believe could help address these issues while also, fostering that vibrant art scene?
Well, first of all, we homelessness and public safety is the topmost thing on people's minds. We need to create a safe environment, a safe city, a feeling of safety. I think to some extent there's a perception of our downtown not being safe. I think it's a lot safer than many people think. There's a narrative out there that has been partially driven by the national media, where we used to be the darlings of the national media. We are no longer. Yes, we've had our problems. We still do. We have a long way to go to fix them. But there's a lot we have to do. Obviously, homelessness, public safety. One of the first priorities is that we really need to get our county and city working together, because we've been at odds, and if we don't work together, it becomes much more difficult to solve our homelessness problems and its relationship to public safety as well. So there's a lot we need to do. I really believe that our priority has to be to get people off the streets into shelter and on a continuum of services towards stability and permanent housing. Easier said than done, but I think we're starting to make some strides in that area. I think the formation of safe rest tiny villages and the larger tiny home villages, such as the Clinton Triangle, that houses about 160 people. There's another one going to be built. The city has built these facilities, and I think they're being very successful. We need to scale that up. We also need to have the services. And obviously, we know in this city and in our state, we're very far behind in providing behavioral health services. So we have to focus on building that. And as far as relationship to the arts, I think when we create a city that feels more comfortable, safer to walk in, it will build everything in a positive way, create more of a place for the arts where the arts can thrive, small businesses can thrive. We need to support our small businesses because that's part of the culture of our city. We're not a big box city with Walmarts and Costco's. So it's all integrated, it all has to be integrated. Again, there's not one answer, one solution. It's a lot of things that we have to do to revitalize our city and make it the thriving and vibrant place we want it to be, and to be a place that the national media can again say, hey folks, Portland's a great place to go to. And it is a great place. We have so many positives here, and we have so much opportunity, and there are so many good things happening. Eventually we'll have a revitalized Keller Auditorium, whatever format that might take, and working at a compromise with PSU. We will have coming up in the near future, we're going to have finally have a James Beard public market. We have the creation of the Rothko Pavilion at the Art Museum, which will be a world-class facility. I would like to see our city better connect to one of our greatest resources, our river. Um, there's a pilot project out there, the Frog Ferry Project, to have a ferry that connects us across the river. So we have many, many opportunities out there, and it all integrates at some point.
So talk to me a little bit, like when we think about bringing, entertainment back to Portland, what's on your bucket list? What would you like to be able, what talent would you like to be able to bring here to Portland? Like, is there a big Broadway show or, a circus act? Like, what is it that you would like to see, or a famous artist to be able to open up, like maybe a gallery here? What would you like to see?
Well, we do have a lot of that already. I mean, we have some really good theater here. We have great dance here. We do have Broadway coming that performs at the Keller. So we do have a lot going on here. Part of our and we do have a pretty good gallery scene. But what I would like to see as well is not just the larger organizations like the Portland Center Stage or the Symphony or the Opera or the Ballet, but we have so many artists, individual artists in the city, so many makers, so many creative people. We need to give them more opportunity and open up opportunities for them to open a gallery, open a place for, let's say, interactive art where you can bring kids in and teach them art. You can do that in vacant storefronts that should become filled. You could do that in the lobbies of buildings. You can do that on the street, in parks. There's so much we can do to build up that vitality, but we have to get everybody behind this to realize how important that is.
Well, I can't agree with you more. I think Portland, when I moved here so many years ago, was just such a vibrant city. You saw just a ton of entertainment, and I'm constantly pushing for, for us to have the ability to bring in some more tourists to the local economy. And right now, I want to ask your opinion on something. When it comes to the Live Nation building out a massive, I believe, stadium here. What's your opinion on that? Are you for that?
Well, I know how controversial it is, and I know that it just got approved at Prosper a couple of days ago, and Music Portland's appeal against it failed yesterday by a vote of 5-0. I'm not quite sure I understand the fear about Live Nation. I understand it's the Department of Justice is looking into it, some practices of theirs. My understanding is that the developers who are working on Live Nation are working in stipulations from Live Nation that will help protect the independent music industry here. I do think that Live Nation, or I know there's a potential other venue like that that's being talked about at Lloyd Center. I'm not sure how viable that one is, how far along it is. The Live Nation project is real. It can happen. The money is there for it. Apparently, everything's in place. There are plans. We need wins in this city, and they have to come in many different ways. And I'm not sure that there isn't room for two venues like that, one at Lloyd and one there. So we just need wins, and I know that's a missing piece, missing venue size, where we have artists that are bypassing Portland because of that. And if you think about the music scene, just what happened several weeks ago, the Foo Fighters at Providence Park that packed the park. So we are a vital music town. There's no question about it. And I think in many ways, from when I talk to some people in the music world, we're actually even more of a music town than Austin is. But we need to promote that more. So we need all hands on deck, and we need all the wins we can get in this city.
To close it out, thank you so much for being on the show with us. Would love to be able to get some closing statements from you. Let the viewers know, how can they help? How can they support? Talk to them a little bit about you and how they can this November make the right choice and get you onto city council.
Well, it was not my life's ambition to run for political office, but because of all the work I've done all these years that we've touched upon, I felt it was a natural progression for me. I think what really motivated me to run is our new form of government. which we know is brand new. We don't have it anywhere else in the country. And I feel that with the work I've done, my ability to be a problem solver, get things done, bring people together and find common ground, I want to be there to help get our new city council off to the right footing. We need to restore trust and confidence in our city. We need to be able to restore the services that we pay our taxes for. So I think it's really important to bring that all together. And I think I'm a person who can help do that. And we have to work within our districts where we now have 3 counselors. We have to figure out how we're going to work together, who's going to be responsible for what. Very importantly, how we respond to our constituents. But we also have to be careful that we don't fall into silos. We've been there before in our government with silos. We need to be able to work across our districts. And I want to help create a structure where we have committees across all our districts. We look at things holistically. Yes, we have our districts, but we have a whole city to look at as well. We also need to be able to coordinate across to the mayor and the city administrator and the deputy administrators and to the county. So that's my big motivation for running. It's really my first priority, without which we can't deal with all these other challenges that we have to deal with. We won't be able to deal effectively. And as a city council, we need to be able to listen more, talk less, and take action. That's why I'm running. I love this city. I think we all love this city. We all care about this city. I appreciate the other candidates who are running, who really care about the city, want to make things better, want to make things work. It really is a great opportunity for us with a reset. So I bring my skills, my qualifications, my experience to help make that happen. And I've been endorsed by all 4 current commissioners. I've been endorsed by District Attorney-elect Nathan Vasquez. I've been endorsed by many past electeds in county, city, and so on. And I've been endorsed by so many people across all aspects of our city, from the arts community to the business community, small business community, and so on. So I feel I am the person who can help bring that all together to help revitalize our city, and a city that we can all be proud of again.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Thank you so much for Stan. We got to learn a lot about him. Remember, ballots are going to drop here in a few weeks. In October 15th, they're going to be mailed out. It's ranked choice voting. Make sure that you educate yourself and know that the process can be a little bit difficult, but there are tools out there that can help you get yourself familiar with how ranked choice voting is going to work for during this election cycle. Make sure to support Stan. I think he's an outstanding candidate. Progreso Latino endorsed him, and we want to keep supporting the community. And we think that Stan is that person for this district. And so we're really excited to be able to support him. We're really excited to have him on the show. And we really, as you can see, he's very well educated on what the city needs, his background, his passion for the arts, how to bring people back into the city. So thank you so much, Stan, for being here with us. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Remember, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks,
everybody.
George.
Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
Enjoy the conversation. Thank you.